Hello and welcome back. My name is Jessie Marie and I'm a contemporary romance author that writes about Black love in a small town called Hemingway. If you're here for the first time, hello and welcome to my page. If you're coming back or you see me on other platforms, welcome back and it's good to see you. Every week I will be posting my newsletter here in video form. I usually have a weekly newsletter that I send to my newsletter subscribers. If you want the written newsletter, then feel free to look at the description below. But anyway, I do also post videos here every week that are basically the verbal representation of my newsletter. For this week's topic, I wanted to discuss surprised babies and the surprise baby trope specifically. Now, from my perspective, this trope gets a lot of hate, and so I wanted to discuss it here on the channel and see what you thought. As you may know, I did write a surprise baby trope romance. It's called Every Part of You, and it's this book here. It's actually the one that I will be reading throughout this month of July to my Patreon subscribers, and it is the second book in the Hometown series, which is my only fully completed series right now. Admittedly, when I wrote this book, I didn't realize that the surprise baby trope was such a hot topic in the romance world, but people seem to fall on either end of the spectrum. So they either want nothing to do with surprise baby tropes or they love the trope. And so I thought it would be a really good discussion to have here on this page and wherever else you may find me, because it has popped up again as one of those things that people have fallen on either side of the spectrum. So, as some of you may know, I have a daughter. Her name, as I call her, is Miss V, or Princess V, when she's feeling like a princess. But she was not a surprise. So, my husband and I, we had planned to have children, and so we had Miss V. But I always find it interesting, and I'm just always curious about why people feel the way they do, why people think the way they do, especially about this particular trope, because while yes, there are definitely other tropes in the genre that people feel very strongly about, this one in particular seems to really get people going. And so it's one of those things that I just really wanted to talk about and see what people thought. Now for me, I'm neutral on the trope itself. I think when it's done well, I love it. When it's not done well, then I might have some challenges reading the book that it's in. But I think it has its time and its place, and if it makes sense to the story, then it makes sense to the story. Like, for instance, I'm reading a book currently. Of course, the name is escaping me, so I will include a link later on I might think of it. But, in this book, it definitely is a surprise baby trope, but it's introduced very early on in the book, and it's so well done. This particular book, I could go on and on about it, and I probably will in next week's newsletter video, but this book is just, I was in tears in the first chapter. It was just so beautiful, and beautifully written, beautifully done. It's by Asia Monique. I think it's, if I'm remembering the title correctly, it's called And Then Life Was Beautiful. I believe that's the title. Beautiful book so far. Instant 5-star read for me. Anyway, but it does have the surprise baby trope in it, and so I think that's part of the reason why, because there are a few books that are out whose, of course, titles I'm forgetting, but there are a few titles out that have the surprise baby trope, and so I think that's why this topic is resurfacing. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen it done really well, and it enhances the story. The storyline flows really well, so I'm kind of neutral on it, honestly. But what do you think? let me know in the comments below, or you can email me if you want to, or if you want to have a discussion on my other social media platforms. I'm also on Threads. Yep. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter somewhat. So if you want to have a conversation, just, DM me or reply back or what have you, and we could talk about it because I really, really want to know. All right, that's it for me. Tune in next week for the next weekly newsletter video. And if you liked what you heard today, then like, comment, subscribe. I will be releasing a new video every week. Until then, cheers.